Hello and welcome back to Helldivers 2. We have new Warbond right now, the Borderline Justice Warbond, which is effectively just space cowboys. It's an interesting idea, blends a little bit of kind of Mandalorian Season 1 spaghetti western aesthetics, but let's actually get into the Warbond. Starting off, we have a booster, haven't had one of those in a while. The Sample Extricator gives large enemies a chance to drop samples on death, up to 10 samples per mission. I don't think it's the most valuable booster, mostly because it doesn't give you a percentage chance. It doesn't tell you when the samples will drop, just that they can, and that's very unreliable. To just be told it can happen. It feels like a booster made almost as a catch-up mechanic for the game, but I don't think the game is using samples enough to merit needing a catch-up mechanic. And especially when it is one that players likely won't have for a very long time due to being in a paid warbond. If I was going to be conspiratorial, I would say, well, not conspiratorial, more, I guess, conspiracy-oriented, I would say that this could be a start to giving us, like, weapon mods, or clan-related things that require samples to work. Do I have any grounds to base that on? No. That's why I'm saying it's a bit of a conspiracy theory, but who knows? Maybe it is just a catch-up mechanic, maybe it isn't. But moving on, we have the armor. Starting off, we have a medium set, the GS-17 Frontier Marshal with the Gunslinger perk, which is pretty broad-reaching perk, really. It shortens sidearm reload speed by 40%, sidearm draw and holster speed is shortened by 50%, and sidearm recoil is reduced by 70%. This is actually really good because it allows you to have, like the machine pistol, little to no recoil. Makes them far more useful. It also does help with a lot of other weapons that have kind of recoil issues or could potentially have long reload speeds. It does work on the ultimatum. I used it once with the ultimatum and didn't really pay attention to the reload speed, simply because with the changes that have been made to it, its reload's irrelevant. But going from there, we have the GS-66 Lawmaker, which is the heavy armor equivalent. Gives, some people say, the Rocketeer vibes. I think more of one of the heavy guys in Mandalorian. I think it's one of the Vislas. The guy who has like the jetpack and the like minigun. But same perk, Gunslinger. Then we have our first gun, the R6 Deadeye. It's a lever-action rifle, fits into the marksman rifle category. Highest damage in the category right now, medium armor pen, and highest recoil in the category. So you have to really gauge if you accept that recoil, then you can run it. It does have kind of weird sighting at 25, 75, and 150 meters. It feels really, not out of place, but just weird, because that 25 doesn't feel strong enough, and when you need like a 50, but then the 75 feels like overkill. It's better than the Constitution, but the rechambering, I do think, is an issue. It fits, it's a lever action, but it does throw off your aim and can make needing repeated shots a bit annoying. The next weapon is the Laz 58 Talon. It is, and this is the strangest description I can think of, the laser revolver. It's a revolver in the sense that you can fire 6 shots and be fine. Your 7th shot will overheat and make you burn a heat sink. But because it is a laser weapon, you can just stagger your shots and you can be just fine. It won't overheat and you'll survive. That said, it deals 200 damage like the Senator, has medium armor pen instead of heavy armor pen, has far lower recoil, and higher rate of fire over the Senator. So you have to really make the judgment call of, do you care more about being able to fire repeatedly, or do you care about just heavy armor pen through like a Hulk visor or something like that? Our last weapon is actually our grenade, the TED-63 Dynamite. This is a weird one, and if you don't understand it coming in, it's going to come off as a really bad grenade. And that is because it's medium armor pen, 700 damage, which puts it just below the high explosive grenade and puts it above standard frag grenades. It has the largest blast radius at 12 meters, which is pretty impressive, and it lacks destructive force, so you can't just throw it next to, say, a fabricator and expect it to go off and destroy it. You have to aim for weak points, which makes it interesting. It can set enemies on fire, but I haven't really seen it happen a ton, mostly because it deals so much damage. Anything that gets caught in the blast typically dies. Probably the weirdest part is when you use it, it has 5, 15, and 60-second timers, and the 60-second timer has no use. I feel like it exists mostly as a meme because it's strong as like a normal explosive, but the timer doesn't do anything. It's just, okay, you wait 60 seconds and then you can actually set it off. You can't shoot it to do any cool like dynamite gambits or anything. It's pretty straightforward. You throw it and wait up to a minute. I've yet to find a situation where I can set up like an ambush or something because 60 seconds is a long time. But I think if you know how to use it and use it well, it's great for clearing out patrols. It's a strong ambush ambush starter and patrol stopper. The timer makes me think we could eventually get something like C4 or a satchel charge, simply because, well, now we have timers, and we could get a satchel charge, put a timer on it, toss it, and go. Our final part for this Warbond actually is the backpack I'm carrying right now, the Hover Pack. It does what it says on the tin. It makes you hover. Terrible against automatons. Like, never use it against them. You will just get shot out of the sky instantly. You can't manually disengage it, but it does give you a ton of utility because against something like Terminids, you can just float over them. The only thing that can hit you is Impalers and Shriekers, and Nursing Spears if they spit on you, and Bile Titans. But if you're quick about it, you usually can do what I'm doing, carry a launcher, and if they get too close, you just pop them in the face. It also lets you kind of breeze over walls and such, but you don't have a lot of horizontal force, so you have to keep that in mind as you're using it. All in all, I think it's cool. It does give some major, like, Boba Fett vibes. If we could dual wield, like, these las revolvers, you'd be Jango Fett, which I really wish we could do, because I would do that in a heartbeat. Let me live out my Star Wars fantasies. But that's all this Warbond has. We didn't get any new skins for vehicles or anything. I don't fully know what you would do for like a cowboy theme. It's a bit of a tough one to really sort out, so I understand not making anything, but this Warbond doesn't have a lot in it. It is one of the lowest offerings for items, which makes it a bit rough to really look at or think about, especially when this does come in at 663 medals. Freedom's Flame still the lowest at 514. That said, I don't know what you would add. This is a Warbond that feels like it was theme first, functionality second, which isn't me kind of dogging on the Warbond at all. It's just, what do you add? It's a tough one. In general, it's an okay Warbond. I really do think that the hover pack carries this one, because everything else is a bit... The las revolver is okay. It's not the greatest, but it is a nice option. The medium pen makes so you have a decent sidearm. I'm not a fan of the lever action. I think it is lacking. Yes, it has power, but you do end up kind of giving up a lot in exchange for that. The armor, the perk is okay. I don't think it's anything crazy. It's nothing that's meta-defining. It just does what it needs to. The dynamite's interesting. If you're looking at this going, should I get this Warbond? If this is your first Warbond, second Warbond, I would avoid it. It doesn't offer enough for a new player to get decent value. I think it's more for someone who has a ton of stuff and is looking to try out some wacky builds or just something different for a little while. If you're really into the role play, you can be a frontier, pathfinding Helldiver, but beyond that, nah, probably skip it. There's better stuff to do or to use, but really that's all I can say. For now, I'll just leave you with the rest of the gameplay of this run.
Requesting sentry.
Sending down sentry. Tagging location east. Never mind.
Calling down a support weapon. Tagging map. South, 200 meters.
Bugs, north.
Calling down a sentry! Reloading!
Tagging location, northeast.
Marking location. Negative. Affirmative.
Activating jump pack. Say hello to democracy!
Tagging location. Never mind.
Rare sample acquired.
Tagging map. South, 100 meters.
Dropping a pin. West, 300 meters.
Extraction is available.
How'd you like the taste of freedom? Found something!
Dropping a pin. West, 300 meters.
Ah! New mag! Dropping item. Sentry.
The tunnel breach!
Requesting advanced weaponry.
Sending in an eagle.
Requesting sentry.
Requesting contact.
For prosperity. Rare sample acquired.
Calling down a sentry. Mission at 20 minutes remaining. Reinforcing!
Calling down a sentry.
Extraction request confirmed and shuttle inbound. Heavy. East. 50 meters. Requesting sentry. ETA T-minus 1 minute, 30 seconds. Marking location. Cancel that. East. Requesting orbital. ETA T-minus 1 minute.
Requesting advanced weaponry! Requesting tac pack! I'm out!
ETA T-minus 30 seconds. ETA T-minus 20 seconds. ETA T-minus 10 seconds. Clear landing zone.
Reloading!
This is Pelican 1. I have visual on the extraction zone.
Requesting sentry!
Pelican 1 landing sequence initiated. Watch where you're standing. Countdown initiated. Stand by for takeoff.
And that is all for now. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit the like button, it helps out the channel a lot, and if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.